Hey guys, welcome back to SVR 11 Universe. I'm Jitch. This is Raw from Mobile, Alabama. Mobile. Well, this is a really interesting situation to kick off Raw. Wade Barrett kicked up a storm in the back and said he demands justice. He demands something, some kind of revenge. Unfortunately, the contract has been signed for the Elimination Chamber match, so Barrett will not be getting Kane's spot in it. But he has challenged Kane to a match, which has been granted, with the ruling being that if Barrett is to be able to beat Kane, he will get a US title shot next week on Raw. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things go down in this one, where Barrett's got some high stakes. Hold up. Well, this is supposed to be a one-on-one match. As I said before, the ruling being if Barrett wins, he gets a title shot against Kane. But it looks like the Nexus have had enough of whatever's been going on. I don't know if the rule still stands, if he still gets a US title shot if he wins. Kane doesn't seem to be backing down, but then I'm not really surprised by that. Kane's not really afraid of anything. This is not a situation that I think most people on any roster would want to get themselves into. This is 3-on-1 by the looks of things. I mean, I'm assuming they're just going to be at ringside for this one, but even still, you know, it can be quite tough to get a win when one guy's at ringside, let alone two people in your opposing corner. Oh, okay. Well, the referee seems to be allowing it. Kane seems to be taking on the challenge. And this is literally a mugging now. The United States champion Kane has got to go up against all three members of the Nexus. It's definitely not what we had planned. You know, I think it's a little bit rich that Wade Barrett is the one that was pissed off about what happened last week on Raw. Let's not forget that it was Mark Henry that had his spot stolen from him in that Battle Royal by Kane. That was supposed to be Mark Henry at the number 6 spot, but Kane ended up taking his place and is actually confirmed for the Chamber match, despite the fact that he's not supposed to even have been in the match. It will be Kane in the Elimination Chamber match in 2 weeks' time. This is just a really tough situation for Kane to be putting himself into. You got to respect the fact that he's actually done it. I mean, as I say, I was about to say, he's able to take them down one by one as he sees fit. David Otunga just recently, he had a match against Kane in which he lost. This is Justin Gabriel's first time colliding with Kane, but obviously, as I said before, Wade Barrett a little bit upset about the way things went last week, since he was the last guy eliminated from the 6-man Battle Royal for the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. It's no surprise that he was the most vocal about the way that went. No superstar on Raw has been happy that Kane not only entered himself into it against the orders. That may actually be why we're getting this mugging that we're getting right now, is because the Raw General Manager had booked a match, and not only did it not go the way that he had planned, but the very guy that he'd banned from it ended up putting himself in it. This may be kind of punishment for that, to be honest. really massive clotheslines from Wade Barrett we've seen.
During his time on NXT, Wade Barrett was believed by many, including myself, to be the best all-around rookie on the program. Barrett.
We all know big boots don't work. Don't be silly.
Oh, mama! That'll cause some damage. Barrett showing a bit of his ego here, but the fact of the matter is he can back it up.
As I said before, I mean, I think
Back to the head.
Kane has been very brave to take this one on.
Kane with a devastating counter. Kane looks like a cat playing with his dinner.
That's also just Kane's style, I think.
Oh man, Barrett just plants him. And he was knocked
I
for a loop.
hate big boots in this game.
Wade Barrett controlling the waist. Kane's in trouble.
That's an understatement.
Wade Barrett loves to utilize a brawling, rugged style. And there's the
I mean, it's the wrong guy, but hey, it mostly connected.
You know, when you weigh 300 pounds, everything is magnified. And for Kane getting dropped there, it would be like falling off a stair.
There you go.
Oh man, Barrett just plants him.
Oh, that might be the only thing that kept Kane in there.
Gabriel is so exciting. You never know what you're going to see in his match. Into the cover, hooks the leg. One, two, three.
Yeah, I think that was about the only way that really could have gone. Well, I think the ruling still stands. I think that's it. We've got ourselves a United States Championship match next week on Raw. But that's not a match that I think I'd want to see. Oh, what the f- No! I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but no! David Otunga has left the Nexus! Oh, I'm going to explain why this makes sense in just a minute. I'm going with this. Well, as I said before, it makes a lot of sense that David Otunga would do that. He wanted the US title from Kane. He got destroyed by Kane. The Nexus never had his back when he went up against Kane. Yet Barrett wants a piece of Kane, and then both of them are in his corner. Anyway, as we move on, Mike Knox is up next. He has demanded that he gets some airtime on Raw. And he has been given it. He has been told that he is the absolute bottom of the barrel when it comes to the superstars on Raw. And that if he wants to be considered a legitimate part of this brand, if he wants to really build his worth and actually get somewhere on the show, he's got to actually win something. Let's not forget that he did win in his debut, but that's apparently been forgotten. So here tonight, he's up against the living legend. He's back, baby. His first official match. Currently from Dudleyville, guys. He's recently relocated. Don't worry, he'll go back to standing 7 foot tall later on. But right now, he's from Dudleyville. Your boy D9 for. What do you think the D stood for? he's Dudley 9. No, we already been over this. It was Dean Frost. I don't know why I'm even trying to pretend. It stands for many things. You all love him. You all missed him. He's back in business. The most important man in any universe's history. Obviously, no disrespect to the legend. The only reason he's considered the bottom of the barrel, the guy that Mike Knox has to go through, is because he hasn't actually yet competed on Raw. That's the only reason he's at the bottom. But this is Mike Knox's first opponent on Raw in a very long time.
Here we go.
And there you go. That's how you get things started the D9 fault way.
Who comes away with the win?
Very good. Very nice. Very nice senton. If you were Yoshitatsu, which is what you were obviously paying tribute to there, Mr. D9 Fault, you would have gotten the pinfall immediately after that. Mike Knox has been told that he is not a part of the ECW Championship Contenders Tournament, which he feels is yet another wrongdoing, yet another unfair bias move by whoever's running Raw. He's going to make sure that he really does make his impact. Okay. Stomp your foot. Keep in mind who you're facing off with, though, Mr. Knox. The most default of all wrestlers, D9 fault. Are you guys ready for DDT9? You might just see it one day. Originally, I hear D9 Fault didn't actually want to face off against Mike Knox. D9 Fault wanted to face off against Drew McIntyre. He wanted to get revenge for his partner, R-Truth. Knox! Why do so many people have big boots? 2009/10, the year of the big boot. Uh-oh. Well, D9 Fault's not going to be happy about this on Twitter later, I'm sure. A tough loss. I actually don't even know if, like, the person that uses the D9 Fault Twitter is still around. I hope so. I love that Twitter. I appreciate you, guy that runs that. I know who you are, but I won't expose you. I appreciate that. Well, he did get his first victory. He did perhaps now elevate himself above. That does unfortunately mean that the living legend is the bottom ranked guy on Raw. Maybe he'll start a similar gimmick. Maybe he'll call out Santino. I'm sure that's who's next. But this could be a regular thing we see. Mike Knox is going to apparently climb the ranks and become a champion. That's what he has declared. Well, Natalya has done some impressive things in recent memory, but Mickie James jump shot her once and got a contendership, so who knows where this one's going to go. This is Mickie James. I just love that introduction. It's not Mickie James, it's this is Mickie James. You better know who this is. Woo! So Mickie James, who attacked Natalya, originally they were aligned. They were both trying to keep the Divas champion Melina at bay. But first Mickie James got a little bit selfish. Now Natalya's gone championship crazy. I'm pretty sure the way this all worked out, the long story for you all is way back at TLC when the Women's and Divas Championships were both introduced. The Divas Championship was won by Melina in a championship scramble. And when I say won, I mean handed to her by default, because the match went to a time-up with no one getting any pinfalls or submissions. Melina, being the highest ranked competitor outside of the universe, the company, whatever, was immediately then handed it as the top ranked person would be, because it's got to go to someone by the end of the match. Mickie James and Natalya aligned on episode of Superstars, I think it was, and took down Melina in a handicap match. Then they faced off in a contenders match to determine which one of the two friends would be first in line for Melina's Divas Championship. Mickie James took it upon herself to attack Natalya before the match, on the way to the ring, and then very easily, very quickly get a win over Natalya to be the one in line to face Melina for the Divas Championship. 6 days later at the Royal Rumble, I think it was, this was turned around as I completely went like brain dead. I heard Michael Cole talking in the background, and for some reason that just like I lost my train of thought. But yeah, the Royal Rumble came around 6 days later, and because of the fashion in which Mickie James earned her spot in the match, she then had it not taken away, but some repercussions, as Natalya was also added to the match, making it a triple threat for the Divas Championship night of the show. Melina did manage to overcome both in the triple threat match. She did actually manage to keep her Divas Championship and survive the two. But that brings us to now. Also, just as a little footnote, Gail Kim got a victory over Melina and Brie Bella last week on Raw, but apparently we're not going anywhere with that. Gail Kim is not going to become the new contender based off of that victory or anything, because the issues between these two haven't quite finished yet, so they need to face off. I guess makes sense. This would be one step towards the Hart Dynasty getting back on track, though, if Natalya could win this. The former World Tag Team Champions have not yet had their rematch for the World Tag Team Championship held by the Celtic Cross. It was kind of like a night of unfortunate events for the Hart Dynasty as a whole, because first they lost their tag titles, and then Natalya kind of got jumped by Mickie James and lost her spot in the Divas Championship, which admittedly she did later get back. But I think maybe what we're saying is the outcome could have been different if it were Melina versus Natalya one-on-one, which, to be fair, note I actually forgot to mention is I think it was 2 weeks ago on ECW that Natalya actually did get to go one-on-one with Melina, and in their actual one-on-one match, Natalya did defeat Melina. Admittedly, she attacked Melina before the bell had rung. She started the match a little early, but she still beat Melina. That's what actually like matters in the grand scheme of things, so to speak.
Mickie counters it. Big kick echoing around the arena. Oh, look out! And there's the drop kick.
I think the Hart Dynasty could be looking to have a really good 2010 if if Natalya can win this match, and maybe the Hart Dynasty can get back their tag team championships in the near future. Mickie James. All your favorite people. Mickie James. Just kind of want to wrap this one up now. What was that? What could that signature have been? Oh, okay. Submission, probably. Yep. It's not a proper one because the screen hasn't gone red, but it's a submission.
She's going for it.
She is going for it, isn't she? You're absolutely right.
Sharpshooter. Natalya has the sharpshooter locked in. 2, 3, 4.
They say you might want to break the hold. Let's go for night of underwhelming victory, shall we? Let's see if I can make it a trio.
1, 2.
There you go. Wait, Barrett got an awkward pin. Natalya got an awkward pin. I don't even remember what the last match was now, but I'm sure it ended in an awkward pin. Oh, it was Mike Knox. That is underwhelming. He won it properly, it's just that it was Mike Knox. Oh. The Divas champion and her boy toy. Okay. Melina obviously saying that she's ready for Natalya at Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks' time. Oh yeah. Okay, well, main event time here on Raw, and the WWE Champion Triple H is about to go one-on-one with Batista, the two people dubbed the biggest threats to everyone else involved in the Elimination Chamber. Just 2 weeks away. Next week on Raw, we'll have a big 6-man tag team main event to kind of close out that build up to the Elimination Chamber matchup. That match will see Triple H team up with Shawn Michaels and Evan Bourne. It'll be DX and Evan Bourne facing off against Jack Swagger. Oh, wait, we can't do that match. What the hell am I saying? Kane's already got a US title match next week on Raw. He can't also compete in a 6-man tag. Never mind. It'll be D-Generation X in tag team competition as they face off against Jack Swagger and Batista. Sorry, Bourne. We're going to have to be out of the equation. But yeah, tonight it's going to be one-on-one competition. And it will be the WWE Champion Triple H facing off against Batista. One of the toughest, biggest, baddest, and best Raw has to offer. But one thing Batista is not, I will admit, is the WWE Champion. And you know, let's not forget, I'm going to remind you guys of something you may have forgotten about in recent weeks. The Royal Rumble winner Christian has not made a single appearance since winning the Royal Rumble match. Batista is wasting absolutely no time. Wow. That is not the way I thought this main event was going to go. We haven't seen Christian in a little while. It's actually uncertain what brand he's on at the moment. He'll be making his decision on who he's going to be facing for the World Championship of his choosing at WrestleMania. We'll be hearing about that after the Elimination Chamber. He'll finally be making his appearance, but I think he's got the month of February off. We won't be seeing him until after February. Maybe we'll see him once or twice, but at the moment, the road to WrestleMania for Christian is one that's surrounded in mystery. There is just no telling where Christian is headed, what championship he's going for, who he, you know, when it comes to the current champions, who he's got his sights set on. Is it Randy Orton? Is it Triple H? When there's the 2 Elimination Chambers, the final stopping points for the championships before WrestleMania, you know, who is Christian hoping comes out with the win? Wherever or whatever he's doing, we know that Christian is ready. He's definitely ready.
What do you think the game strategy needs to be here, King? Talk about an immovable object. What he needs is for his opponent to make a mistake. If that happens, he's right back in this thing. Batista's been leveled. Oh, man. And Triple H is feeding off the energy of this arena.
Well, the WWE Champion might have been ambushed before the match, but there is a reason that Triple H is the WWE Champion. He managed to overcome the championship scramble back at Survivor Series in November. We're now in the near mid of February, and he is still holding the WWE Championship. He's one of the only surviving champions from the inaugural champions list, the other being the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. When I say inaugural champions list, I mean people that won the first championships introduced at Survivor Series. So although Jericho and Miz are the first WWE Tag Team Champions and have been the whole time, those were introduced a little bit later. I'll be right back. And we are back. I don't remember what I was talking about now, so I'm going to have to just apologize and drop that subject. But WWE Championship will be on the line between these two, as well as 4 others, in 13 days at the Elimination Chamber event. I gotta say, if I was Christian right now and I was the Royal Rumble winner, I think I'd more be hoping that, like, the current champions aren't the ones that I'm going to be fighting at Mania, as well as, like, I don't know who Christian would choose. No disrespect to the guy, but he wasn't exactly a huge star before he won the Royal Rumble. Like, I'm really happy that he won it. I thought he was great for winning it and everything, and, you know, he is a great superstar outside of this universe, but when we talk specifically this series, his run initially, I think the biggest thing that he did was lose? No, beat John Morrison, I think. Did he beat John Morrison? I want to say he beat John Morrison. So I'm a little bit concerned for Christian at WrestleMania. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, I think maybe he could really wow a lot of people. He could become a world champion. But at the same time, I'm a little bit nervous for him. Just because he was originally going to be the contender for the Cruiserweight Championship before his injury. To then go for the World Heavyweight or the WWE Championship is a huge jump. You know, you saw how Kofi blended into this division when he faced off against Batista in the main event of Raw a couple weeks ago, in which Batista qualified for the Chamber. It was not a pretty sight. It was not an easy battle for Kofi Kingston. You saw what happened when the former Cruiserweight Champion Zack Ryder competed in the 6-man Battle Royal. Now, admittedly, he blended a bit better. He actually put up a tough fight, but Kane still prevailed. These bigger, badder guys are just unfortunately what it's all about in that division. They're a little something that you've just got to be prepared for. I'm not sure that the likes of I'm not sure that the likes of oh, what the hell is that all about? I'm not sure that the likes of Christian is quite ready for someone like, say, Batista or Kane at WrestleMania, or the Big Show for that matter. Well, this is unbelievable. I know that these two are a really tight couple of friends, but to constantly screw and cheat their way through everything? That seems a little much. Batista definitely could have had the match won there.
The game, controlling the arm. Batista's in trouble. What a counter.
This match was never really one that favored Triple H from the moment Batista got that jump attack at the start. I mean, I guess all's fair, but at the same time, I don't know. I just can't really justify Shawn Michaels being out here. No, I really don't agree with this. If Triple H is to win now, sure, he might win tonight, but the amount of damage that Batista's doing to him, the amount of times Batista has had Triple H beaten, I think it goes without saying that Triple H's championship reign is in a lot of jeopardy at Elimination Chamber, actually. This is not the sign of a strong, successful championship reign. This is the sign of someone who is about to lose their championship in 13 days to the very man that is dominating them right now. I don't know what this fixation with them trying to like rope rebound do their finishes is. Here we go for a second time. As if one wasn't enough, the only reason Triple H even got out of it was because of Michaels' interference. Batista's not even bothering. This isn't the last time that they'll be facing off, as I said before. You'll be seeing Batista team up with Jack Swagger next week on Raw. In another preview of this upcoming match. We'll also find out if Kane is actually going to be heading into the Elimination Chamber with his United States Championship or not. I feel like Triple H has barely done anything in this match. Other than just get annihilated by Batista. And say a loss here is not really one that Batista should be ashamed of. Completely tainted victory. If Triple H is even able to get it.
cerebral assassin is so ready for this.
A sharp elbow drop. He gets out of trouble there.
You know, obviously, I understand that Shawn Michaels also, you know, I understand he's got Triple H's back in this one, but he's got to think about the Royal Rumble. He's got to think about that 3-minute championship match, that really short-lived and often cited pathetic attempt at winning the WWE Championship. He's got to think about the fact that he wasn't able to beat Triple H, and you know, he hasn't been able to live up to his standard that's been set. And when it comes to the Elimination Chamber, Shawn Michaels has got another opportunity to actually go for the WWE Championship, but he's got to beat his friend Triple H. He's got to take Triple H's championship away, because there's no point in being in this business if you're not able to go through your own partner for a world title. And having his back all the time is certainly not a way that says I'm the man. It says that he's the man and I'm just kind of his lackey.
A lot of guts and resilience shown here by Batista. I just can't believe he's had it taken to him like this tonight.
So many ways Batista can just hurt Triple H in this one. What is with all the rope rebounds? I don't understand. Is it because they're harder to reverse? Has it like learnt? Well, I think this is gonna have to. Oh my god! I think this is gonna have to be lights out if he can connect with it. That is. That was a mistake.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, nice counter.
Uh-oh.
Ouch. There are so many ways that Triple H can
Batista's in trouble now.
He's removing the
Oh, okay. Honorable champion, my ass.
Oh, Lord, a huge collision with the exposed turnbuckle. And again, the mind games are played.
Obviously, just getting really desperate now to actually get the win on Batista.
Uh-oh. I think that really hurt his arm.
Oh,
I don't know. I feel like we're seeing a very different side of DX.
Yeah. Power, aggression, intelligence, and not only does he have
Desperate, selfish. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
right on the nose.
In a night where we've seen one shocking twist, why not another, I guess?
just trying to goad his opponent into making a mistake here.
A lot of belief and support in DX. And obviously there was a lot of belief that the Nexus could have been the next big thing, but David Otunga turning against the leader of Wade Barrett, I'd have to believe he's all but exiled from that group now. I don't think we'll be seeing David Otunga anywhere near the Nexus anytime soon, if ever again.
Everything he does brings him closer to a win. He catches him with the axe handle.
Oh my, just raw, unmitigated power. Oh, what an elbow drop.
Well, that time Batista was actually able to connect. He's attempted that running power slam a few times now. That time he got all of it.
God.
I think that Triple H is looking at one big L, whether he wants it or not in this one.
A hard knockdown.
Batista has done nothing but beat the hell out of him for such a long period of time in this match.
Batista.
Yep. There's that big kick to the face once again. That's gotta be it. I don't even know if that's the third or the fourth one, but Triple H has just taken an absolute beating. I'm not really sure what Batista's going for anymore. He's not even trying to go for the pinfall win, though.
Watch it. That was like a freight train.
Like he's trying to knock Triple H out or something. injure him, take him out of the Elimination Chamber match. Make sure that this DX alliance can no longer compete.
Just continuing to beat his opponent down. Look at this.
Triple H is all but done, but Batista just won't go for the pin. I think he snapped.
Man, Batista just waffled him.
There's no other way around it. I think that Batista has just snapped. He's lost the desperation to get a win. I mean, maybe he's going for one here. Hey, yeah, there you go.
There's the pin. Can his opponent kick out?
And the game kicks out.
Shawn Michaels distracting the referee once again. Has allowed Triple H to actually get back into this.
And this plan appears to have backfired.
And after a massive clothesline from Batista, another pin has connected. And that time, Batista has pinned the WWE Champion. That was a non-title victory, I must confess. But even still, he's done it. Batista has pinned the WWE Champion in one-on-one competition. He's gotten that big victory. Not only has he gotten that big victory, he absolutely brutalized and destroyed Triple H tonight. He could have won that match 4 or 5 more times. He already had, pretty much. He just wasn't able to get the pins. Yeah, this is not a good time to be a member of DX. Batista is on a roll, and I feel like he could take them both on in a handicap next week if he so wished. If I were everyone in the chamber, especially someone as tiny and frail as Evan Bourne, I would be panicking. Not to specifically single out Evan Bourne, it's just he's a very small guy in a very big match. Okay, well, in the news, Kane and David Otunga are enemies. Kane and Wade Barrett are enemies. Batista and Triple H's relationship has gotten even worse. Natalya is the #1 contender. No tag team rank change. David Otunga has escalated himself to the #1 contender spot, despite the fact that Barrett is, because it just doesn't pay attention to that, obviously. And Batista has gone 1 rank up, but only 1. Coming up on ECW, don't expect Luke Gallows versus The Rock. Don't expect Mark Henry versus Ezekiel Jackson. And definitely don't expect Wade Barrett, Chavo Guerrero, Jake Roberts, and Mike Knox in a 4-way match. Okay. I actually had to edit the Nexus because for some reason it didn't take Otunga out of the group even though he attacked Barrett. So I have actually done that. You gotta go with what happens. You can't, like, deny it. I don't even think it made them enemies. Oh, they are enemies. Okay. It did make them enemies then. Would that make Wade Barrett a cheer or Otunga a cheer? I guess Otunga. He stood up to them. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Because he kind of like... He's like, no, I don't agree with anything that's happened here. Maybe that's the plan. He wants Barrett to win the title now so that he can go for Barrett. I'm not actually sure I'm going to be able to get rid of the Nexus armband. I get a lot of people like always correct me on these kinds of things and tell me how to do it anyway. So we'll quickly have a look on here if I can even take the armband off of him. He might just have to wear that still. Can you make it like black enough? Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so you can actually like make a guy leave the Nexus. They're not stuck in that group. They don't have this armband that's just stuck. Okay, cool. That's good to know. All right. Well, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'll quickly edit his attires. Don't worry. I'll see you guys in the next episode with a whole new episode of ECW at your fingertips. Bye.